Right now we will complete Unit 10, Lesson 3, Impact on Water for 8th grade science. So please write at the top of your page SCI period 10.3. That's Science 10.3. And we're going to look at what happened to water in our world and why people are concerned with it. So we're going to skip all the way down to this to get started. And this says, though the total amount of fresh water is fairly consistent, the challenge is to keep the water supply what? The question is, what is the challenge to, the challenge is to complete the, the challenge is to keep the water supply, and the answer right there is in blue, clean. Let me make this a little larger for you. See what I can do here while you write down the word clean for number 1. See it right there, number 1. I might even be able to get a little larger. There we go. Woohoo! Okay, the challenge is to keep the water supply, and for number 1 you should have wrote down clean. Number 2, what is responsible for providing most fresh water? And I'll make the answer right there in blue for you. What is responsible for providing most of our fresh water? The water cycle is. Okay, very good. So you should have down number 1 clean, number 2 water cycle. Number 3. Water pollution comes from 3 main sources. What are they? For number 3, please list the 3 main sources of water pollution. So number 3, you're going to write down agricultural chemicals, AGRICULTURAL, then the word chemicals. Next, you're going to write down industrial waste. And after you write down industrial waste, you're going to write sewage. So those are the 3 main sources of pollution. Those 3 things are what wrecks our water. Okay, moving right along. Now we know what wrecks the water. Let's take a little look at that. So there are these chemicals, and they get mixed with water, and they go high into the sky, then they go into the clouds. Now, as this water drops back out of the clouds, that's called Raina Precipitation, the water is ruined. And the reason it's ruined is because all that acid went up into the clouds. So what is that called when the water gets ruined because of the pollution up in the clouds? That is called, I'll put it in blue for you. Oh, not all that, just the word acid rain. So your next answer is acid rain. That is called acid rain. Move it up a little. Okay, and now our next question, we're actually almost done for today. Our next question is, what type of pollution is it that releases water that has been processed directly into waterways that has been heated? So when hot water is discharged directly into a stream, so the hot water has pollution in it. And what is that hot water called? Your answer should be thermal pollution. That hot water is called thermal pollution. Okay, we really are almost done here. Let me look at what answer you're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're doing 6, I believe. Okay, so this is really gross. This is the grossest one of all. What is sewage? So sewage is water that's been destroyed by animal and human waste. So mostly that's talking about poop being in the water. Used to not be regulated to keep the water clean, so you'd be drinking poop water. I told you it was gross. Anyway, what is sewage called? Sewage is called animal and human waste. So, what causes sewage? Animal and human waste. waste. Good, moving right along. The government has started enacting what to protect water? What is the government using now to protect water? The answer is laws. They started enacting laws to protect water. Okay, very good. Moving right along. There are two ways that you can help with keeping our water supply in good shape. What two ways can you help? Number one, be careful in how you dispose blank. Carefully dispose blank. Chemicals. The answer is chemicals. One way you can help is to carefully dispose of chemicals. The next way that you can help is to use clean water. How? You can make this your next question. Use clean water in what way? And the answer is responsibly. Use clean water responsibly. Okay, guys, so now I would say you've learned a little bit about water today. I think that's excellent.